Falcons this week. We just finished watching Nick's Eagles lose to the Falcons. And guys, you even know how hilarious, because we started pre-producing, and Nick said, all right, I'm ready to go. I asked the question, do we want to wait till halftime, or do we want to, we want to do halftime, or just wait till after the game? Nick said, no, I'm ready. Let's go now. He thought the Eagles had won that game. So it's really, really hilarious because they did not win the game, and we got to see Nick's facial expression as he watched his team lose the game.
Throw it away. Gave it away.
Nick definitely kept a good poker face. You know, he let it roll right off his back. Damn, my boy just lost right in front of my co-host and stuff. Like, damn, that hurts. But Terrence came in and he said, damn, I really was hoping all three of us lost. And Terrence, you thought that he was the one that got the win.
Terrence a natural born hater, man. It's crazy. I didn't know it was like that.
Hey, man, I can screenshot.
Hey, crabs in a bucket, my brother. Crabs in a bucket. Crabs in a bucket, right?
Man, look.
If I go down, you gotta come down with me.
We're going to get this show started. We're going to get this show popping. The NFC South may not be as bad as people thought it was. Look at the Falcons. Look at the Saints. Look at the Buccaneers. Oh, Baker Mayfield. And, man, what happened to my Niners yesterday in Minnesota? The Niners have lost 8 straight games in Minnesota. In Minnesota. We'll talk about it. Was it Kyle Shanahan's fault or somebody else's? Come on, man. What happened to the Philadelphia Eagles just now? Let's get to that, though, first, before we talk about Terrence's 0-2 Baltimore Ravens. Derrick Henry in the backfield. Lamar Jackson, oh, my God. 0-2 WTF. We'll let Terrence explain that in a minute. We're going to come back to that. But first, Monday Night Football. Falcons, Eagles. This was a pretty good game. The Falcons hung around, but you just kind of knew that, man, the Eagles are about to run away with this at any given moment here at any point. Saquon Barkley would run up the middle. He would always have good scenery when he would take the ball and punch it up the middle. And then Kellen Moore would do what I expect Kellen Moore to do, and he would get away from the run. Or he would bounce it out east. Let's bounce it out west. No, just keep going north and south. That's what works. And then Jalen he made some plays. Nick, I'll let you tell us. What the hell just happened to your Eagles? I know we can't talk. We can't say a damn thing. We lost 2. But first, your team. We get into the Monday night games first. We waited all weekend for this one to end before we could get started. Nick, what the hell just happened to your Philadelphia Eagles?
We gave it away. First off, the first thing that definitely was noticeable for me for most of the game is that A.J. Brown was definitely missed. Devontae Smith, I've said multiple times, I think would be the number 1 receiver on probably 25 other teams in the league. And he definitely showed up and showed out tonight. He showed that again tonight. But in this league now, from a receiving standpoint, if you're gonna throw the ball, you got to have 2 guys that are really, really kind of up there, and AJ is even in a more elite class. So him not being present was definitely missed tonight, which is kind of a positive, really, if I think about it, just from the standpoint that, hey, obviously he will be back, and certainly will be a better team with him than we were tonight without him. Number 2, even with that being said, and it's going to sound crazy because he had 22 carries, I don't think we ran the ball enough. When I say I don't think we ran the ball enough, I think a lot of those carries came later in the game. Whereas had we stayed consistent with it throughout the second and third quarter, that second drive, I think Saquon had 39 yards, and then for another 2 quarters he had 24. I think I saw that the graphic came up sometime during the third quarter, and so it was just like, had we been consistently, just really putting it on and giving Saquon that rock. I think that because it was a game that was already being kind of sped up. From the standpoint that you weren't going to get many possessions. Nick Sirianni was talking about at halftime how he'd only had 4 possessions, so you weren't going to get many anyways. Make them count. Give them to the guy that you brought in this offseason. That's really going to be should be the difference maker for this offense. And ride us back to the victory. I think had we done that earlier instead of just trying to fall into it late, With the slim lead, we would have had a bigger lead and wouldn't have had to worry about it so much. That being said, all credit to the Falcons. They're a good team. They're a better team even than I expected them to be. And I expected them to be near the top of this division, them and the Bucks. I can't remember if I picked them or the Bucks to win it, but I expected them to be good. And their team, the defense is tough. Obviously, Bijan Robinson, he had a good game tonight. He's starting to come into his own. Kyle Pitts is still very much a ghost. That's something they're gonna have to address. Drake London made some good plays. Obviously, made the game-winning touchdown catch. So all credit to the Falcons. They played a good game. They got it done. We had a lot of penalties tonight as well, and so that wasn't a good look for us either. So, a lot of things to work on. A lot of things that if we clean up, I think we can get back to the team that I expect us to be. But just not a good night. And things we got to clean up.
Okay, so first of all, I'm with you on AJ Brown, his absence being a problem. But then to me, the bigger issue are when he's out, it's not Devontae Smith, it's whoever's your number 2, 3, or 4 receivers.
Right.
To me, those guys are just not good enough. And I'm looking at it from a standpoint of you're paying Jalen Hurts, you're paying AJ Brown. Devontae Smith kind of got holes on his deal. You're paying Saquon. A couple of the guys on the defense are getting paid. He got paid, but he kind of got holes on his deal compared to other receivers' deals. My point is, you got a lot of contracts out there, and if there's anywhere where it's going to be lackluster, it's going to be on the back end of the receiving core. I understand that, but this is one of those games. And next week, when AJ Brown is also not there, he said he might miss 2 weeks. Then it might show up. I don't know if you guys can beat really good teams strongly. You can still win those games, but I don't think you can just really show your actual willpower when AJ Brown is out. On top of that, you're right. Y'all didn't run the ball enough for whatever reason, and the runs were kind of predictable with Saquon, but at the same time, you still didn't run the ball enough. I don't know why, but get the ball into Saquon's hands, man. We saw what the Saints did with Kamara. They put the ball in that man's hands any kind of way. I don't know why more teams don't do that, because there are teams with, there's the Saquons out there. The 49ers do it with McCaffrey. They find ways to get those guys the ball. It's just that simple. Also, I'm a little bit worried about the defense, Nick. They kind of got moved around a little bit. Now, the pass defense looks phenomenal. Even though they gave us some big plays here and there, but I think they did that, focusing so much on the run game.
They're just in that 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So a couple of things I'll say on the defensive end. We are small on the edge. We're big in the middle, but we're small on the edges.
You're not that big in the middle either, Nick.
Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis. Yeah, we got some size in the middle. Milton Williams, he's 285, 290 pounds. We got some size in the middle. It's Nolan Smith on the outside at 250 and Bryce Huff on the other side at 255, 260.
Okay.
Josh Sweat.
I think it's a problem, and you guys remember this night, because I don't think if it comes down to a game against the 49ers and you're that small on the edges, how you gonna stop that? That's a problem.
And then the other thing from our pass defense standpoint as far as the secondary, and I don't want to be overzealous in saying this, but I think we are approaching the time where it might be time to move Slay down the rotation. I'm very glad I don't think I saw James Bradbury at all tonight. I don't know if he was inactive or just didn't play or whatever. Or maybe I think they were going to use him at safety some, so maybe he had him there. And if I didn't have to call his name, then I guess that's a good thing. But I like what I saw from Quinyon Mitchell tonight. He very nearly had a pick that would have been a big play for us. Maybe time to start doing some shuffling on that back end. I've been a fan of Slay for a long time, but even on that last play, I'm just kind of like, what are you looking at? The only place you don't have help is to the outside. Why would you jump inside? Didn't make any sense.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? Nick, you got gashed up the middle quite a bit by Bijan Robinson and that offensive line for the Atlanta Falcons. He was getting him some Barkley ain't the only one that had a good day. That's not.
Well, no, I disagree. We were getting gassed on the edges. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is about those guys we have on the edges. They wasn't running, in the A and B gap in the 2 and the 4 holes. They was getting out to 6 and 8 and 5 and 7. They was getting on that. That's where he was winning.
He had big gains on both outside up north and south and east and west. I don't know what you were watching. They did have some stops in the middle. He also had some big gains in the middle as well. So he gashed them. He gashed them too now. Up the middle.
Oh, he did for sure. Yeah, B-Jar had a great game.
Yeah.
No doubt. I think he had over 100 yards rushing and, probably another 50 or so receiving. He had a great game.
Yeah. Up the middle was where I thought Saquon gashed the Atlanta Falcons defense, but they would get away from it. Things that I told you Kellen Moore would do. There was also times where you go for 4th and 1 and you don't get it, but you throw the ball. Like, what the hell? There was just some moments where it was like, okay, just keep running it. This is Kellen Moore. He will get away from that. Some of the best plays that Jalen Hurts made was with his legs tonight.
Agreed. I was glad to see that.
He did make some. And why? Why was people so happy to see that? We know he can run. Were you just happy that he did it again? Is he trying to?
Yeah, and the reason is because last season, particularly when things started to go south for us, we felt a lot of us as Eagles fans felt like he got away from it. And partially because I think he was injured. Whether they really wanted to tell us about it or not, I think he was injured, and so he was kind of trying to protect himself. So seeing him do it again makes me feel like he feels confident in where his body is. As far as his health and trusting himself to be able to do those things. So, I was definitely glad to see that.
But when he wasn't doing that, he had to scramble like Randall Cunningham and like to get somebody open. And he did do that numerous times. But then there was other times where there was just nothing open. The secondary, we got to give credit to Atlanta.
Atlanta got a badass secondary. They might have the best secondary in football.
And again, yes,
them or maybe the Jets.
I don't know. I still need more games, more film to see. But again, AJ Brown was out. That's baby goat. That's baby T.O. That dude is top 3, top 4. He's top 5, and I think on everybody's list. And it showed tonight. If he wasn't in your top 5, he should be because he's a lot the reason why. Now, here's what I want to ask before we move on to other games, Nick. Your team lost tonight. I found out earlier today that A.J. Brown was not going to be playing due to a hamstring injury. I got to ask you, since you're the Eagle, and hopefully you've got more Eagle insider information than we would. How long have you been knowing that A.J. Brown was not going to play tonight?
So they actually announced it yesterday. Yesterday morning they announced it. They said that he got hurt in practice on Friday. Said he was, it was just kind of a freak thing. He was running a route. Hamstring tightened up on him, and he didn't practice Saturday, so that's when they kind of knew he wasn't going to go. So they announced that on Sunday morning. So, tonight was really when I first heard that it was actually going to be a couple of week thing as opposed to just this week. So that's disappointing, I guess. Hopefully we make some adjustments to kind of find a way to win without him. Is this for just for next week or for 2 weeks?
Hello, Nick. Nick, I think we've lost Nick for a minute. But
sorry.
There we go.
I was trying to look at our schedule coming up. We got the Saints next week and the Bucks after that.
At New Orleans and Tampa Bay. That's not as those aren't the easiest trips as I would have thought they would have been a couple weeks ago for sure.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I definitely would say that. I would really like to see him back for the Tampa Bay game, just as kind of a full circle moment there, because obviously he missed the Tampa Bay playoff game last season that we lost. So seeing him back for that game for sure, I think would be good, especially if we obviously come out with a win.
All right, so the Eagles lose their first game of the season. And Nick,
I was so ready to come on here tonight and say I was the only 2-0 team on this show. I was so ready to do that. And I just want y'all to know, and I'm really pissed about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Why you lost? But look, man, I just want to say this: Nick Sirianni, or whoever it is that makes the call, it's Nick Sirianni going for it on 4th downs. Sometimes they got it, sometimes they didn't. I as I was watching the first half of this Eagles game, it felt like I was watching the the Los Angeles Chargers again, because I thought that it was Brandon Staley on their sideline coaching the Eagles. I saw Kellen Moore. He was a Charger OC last year, and I'm like, this is Brandon Staley. That's not Sirianni, is it? It was just some decision making where I'm like, poor judgment, poor decision making. I'm not going to get on your quarterback because, yeah, he scrambled tonight. He ran. But we'll come back to that overrated topic a little bit later. He only had one player out, and I know A.J. Brown is that dude. But with Saquon in the backfield and all these good B's and, B's and C receivers and tight ends and stuff that you got, you would think that they could have, did more against the Atlanta Falcons. And I didn't really see more. So, again, they looked a bit stagnant at times. Again, I didn't get a complete, full game of consistency from Jalen Hurts. That's 2 games straight. He did enough, but it wasn't enough to get the win. But I'm just saying that if I was going to write the script on how I told you before the season started, we came back to open the season, and I said, hey, man, it's going to be some drama in Philly. I don't know about the head coach and the quarterback. Well, if there's any room for drama, lose a game like this and watch how that pot starts to boil a little bit. And I'm stirring the pot right now. You'll start to hear it. Kellen Moore, Dick Fangio, you're not talking about him. He's also a new assistant on your staff. Not that good. He's been kind of trash for a while. It's a reason why he's bouncing around on teams. You don't send any pressure. Kirk Cousins just in the pocket having a coffee and a donut. That's the reason why he lost the game. And again, my team losing to Sam Darnold, a lot of 49er fans think that's embarrassing. Losing to Kirk Cousins on Monday night. Losing to Kirk Cousins on primetime, period. That's kind of embarrassing, too. Just had to say that. All right, Eagles 1-1. Now, let's go and get to my team before we get to the Ravens, because they're in really bad shape, at least for now. The 49ers lost in Minnesota yesterday. And I told everybody on this show, while a lot of people thought that I was just being negative, sometimes I'm just being realistic. People need to understand the difference between the two. I said that I'm not taking the Niners to cover, even though I guess I'll go with the Niners. But if you noticed in my voice, my facial expression, I was very reluctant to do so. But I did say my Niners would win, I guess. But I said Sam Darnold, call him what you want, but damn it, he's got a good offensive line in Minnesota. Damn, he's got Jones running behind him in the backfield. Justin Jefferson is the best in the league last time I checked. And Flores is always getting one up on Kyle Shanahan. These are the things I said. If you don't believe it, go back to the last episode of the Great Debate Show. Season 5, episode 7. Now we're on episode 8. I'm not glad that I'm happy. Every time I say I hope I'm wrong. But Brian Flores got Kyle Shanahan again. And the microphone can pick up Brock Purdy telling Brian Flores after the game, man, your scheme is crazy. Crazy, bro. That sounds like somebody ain't prepared for Brian Flores' defense. We've seen this before. He whooped that ass last year, and he did it again this year. Because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, before we really get into what happened and why they lost or what you think about the Niners, it's just one game, and I'm not here to overreact. Yeah, Brandon Ayuk, he's MIA right now, even though he's there. We get it. Trent Williams don't look like he's in shape either. This is what happened when he missed practice. What I'm saying is this, though. Damn. Brian Flores, Kyle Shanahan. Who do you guys think won that coaching battle? Because it looks like Kyle Shanahan did not win that. Nick Sorensen, or whatever his name is, the new DC in San Francisco. Well, he looked like he lost that coaching battle also, going up against, what's his name, Kevin O'Connell, a good damn head coach and a good OC, and they say he's great with quarterbacks. Look at what he did last year. The Vikings, they hung in a lot of games. They played some tough games with the likes of Kirk Cousins to Josh Dobbs to Nick Mullins. I mean, it was, and now Sam Darnold. Look what they did. Look what they did. It's a good offense. He's a good play caller, and he and Brian Flores outcoached Kyle Shanahan and the defensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator. Nobody made any adjustments. He stopped running the football. All the things that Kyle Shanahan does, that suspect stuff that should be cause for him to get fired. And I'm tired of people on the media talking about how good he is. He got whooped. And I'm telling you, forget what the stats say, forget what the score says. Fred Warner, the best linebacker, the best off-ball linebacker in football, hands down, ain't no great debate about it. If it wasn't for him and the few plays he made that forced turnovers or whatnot, the 49ers would have got blown out. Y'all be laughing at us just as much as you're laughing at the Cowboys because he made a few plays to keep from that being a blowout, and then the Cook, and then the Aaron Jones fumble at the 1 yard line. Had he gotten that end zone, they were finna blow us out the water. That was gonna be real bad. Anyway, we lose the game, and again, guys, your thoughts on what you saw, because what I saw was a 49er team that just didn't look prepared. They thought they were going to run over the Minnesota Vikings, and they didn't lie down. The Vikings controlled this game in its entirety. I just want to let the people know that. You may see 23-17 as the final score, but make no mistake about it. The Niners were never in control of that football game. Brock Purdy had 13 pressures, sacked 6 times. 6 times. That offensive line that I talked about where I said Trent Williams and everybody else, yesterday it looked like just everybody else because Trent Williams didn't even look like Trent Williams either. Guys, I've been talking about how they'll send this pressure, they'll throw all these blitzes and things like that. I mean, that's what Brian Flores does. How was Shanahan not prepared for that? He blitzes like 80% of the damn time, and there was nothing the Niners could do about it. They just couldn't stop the bleeding. Debo had a good day as a receiver. Like he's been listening to me. He had a good day as a receiver, and he didn't have any big plays in the backfield. But that didn't really matter because it still resulted into a loss. And every time he has a good day like that, it usually ends up in a loss. Guys, I'm done talking. The 49ers lose. It's just week 2. They're 1-1, though, and people are putting them back in the Super Bowl. 1 or 2 things can happen from this. The Niners needed this loss to humble themselves and to get back at it, because they're not just going to run through the NFC. The Falcons, did you see what the Falcons just did, what the Saints just did, what the Vikings just did? News alert. I was right, it looks like it. The NFC got better, as I said. How did the Niners and why did the Niners lose that game, though, guys? Whoever wants to go first, I don't care. Whose fault is it? I'm going to see if anybody's going to blame anybody else. Shanahan.
Go ahead, Terrence. Sound like you had it. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll start. Well, look, it's really a question. Do the Vikings just have your number? They beat you guys last year. They've got a guy that was on your staff and Sam Darnold. Of course, you don't have to even mention Justin Jefferson. I mean, that goes without saying, but they beat you guys last year without Justin Jefferson. So is it a question that the Vikings just right now have your guys' number?
Hold on, T. I gotta say this. I didn't mean to cut you off. They beat us without Justin Jefferson for about a quarter, 2 quarters yesterday. All right, he left the game and they still whooped him.
So do they just have your number?
Maybe Brian Flores has Kyle Shanahan's number.
Yeah.
He got outcoached. This happens a lot. When you stop the run,
I mean,
he looks like he's lost and he has no adjustments. And if he doesn't, the blocking assignments, the protection, he just looks like he's lost. And the only reason why I cut you out, T, is because everybody keeps saying he's so good. What did you just say? What did you just say about Shanahan? You said they have our number. They have our number. If you're one of the best coaches in the league, how can anybody just have your number? At some point, you're supposed to beat them too, right? Like, we're talking about Sam Darnold. We're talking about Kirk Cousins last year without Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. I mean, we saw Eli get 2 wins over New England in the championship, so it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought it was a decent game between y'all two, between the Vikings and the 49ers, of course. Statistically, it looks like it was much more, and it kind of was. It was very much an up and down game between the 20s, so to speak. Things got very, very tight in the red zone. It was one of those kind of games, kind of just like the one we just watched on Monday night, where the ball could kind of move between the 20s, but when it got in the red zone, defense has definitely stiffened up. Some big plays got made and kind of that sort of thing. Justin Jefferson, I thought was one of the ballsiest things. I mean, he said it as nicely as possible, but he said respectfully, "I'm not Gary Wilson," and then went out and showed that he's Justin Jefferson, and that's why that's why he gets paid what he gets paid. That's why we say he's the best receiver in the game, because that's what he is right now. Even with the part of the game he missed, he certainly impacted it. 4 catches, 133 yards, and a big 97-yard touchdown there that really kind of blew the game open. So, and I think what my overall takeaway is, especially with the weekend of games being over now, is that some teams in the NFC are better than we thought they were. Minnesota, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, the NFC South, I guess as a whole, with the exception of Carolina, they are absolutely on the clock, as Terrence would say. But those other three, man, they're here to play. And then along with the Vikings and the Packers, especially once they get Jordan Love back, and they were still able to get a win that I didn't expect them to get against the Colts. So, and of course we know what the Lions are. So, even the Lions lost to the Buccaneers. I think what we take from this is that, like I said, like Jarvis said, a lot of teams in the NFC got better and are better than we thought they were. And, it still doesn't too much deter me from a lot of the picks I've made in terms of the division winners and kind of where things end up. But certainly it'll be more interesting than I would have thought.
Sounds like you're saying it was all good just a week ago.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
But Jarvis, I have one more question. Was any of that indicative on Brock Purdy? Did we see any? Are we finally starting to see some normalcy or some Mr. Irrelevant type play?
You know what? No, not really. I don't have any issues with Brock Purdy from yesterday. I mean, if you look at the stats, and the stats can be conceiving, but he was fine. They didn't protect him well at all. He was a sitting duck in the pocket. He did the best he could do. Shanahan said, "Hey, just drop back and throw it all day." The hell with giving the ball to Jordan Mason. So what if he had a good week last week? He ain't gonna have one this week. I mean, Shanahan does ignorant, backwards things like this. Just like Nick couldn't explain what Darius Slay just did in the corner of the end zone on that play that just lost them the damn game. I don't understand why Kyle Shanahan says, "Hey, this guy had 170 yards rushing last week. Screw that. Let's not give him that many touches this week." He had 20 carries for 100 yards. Why not give him 27, 28 like you normally would? That would have probably been 150, 160 again, and you get a win. That what slows down all that pass rushing and all that blitzing. How about some screens? He makes no adjustments when you stop the run. It's just like, I ain't got nothing else, boss. Like, how are you the best coach or one of the best coaches when you do this repeatedly? So, no blame for Purdy. It's all going on the head coach Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. One loss down, about 9 more to go, and maybe we can blow this sucker up. That would be nice. Am I rooting for the Niners to lose games? No. But if they lose them, I ain't mad at them. Because it's time for 49er fans said years ago, Jed York, owner, chairman of the 49ers, needs to sit down and STFU. They were running blimps across the stadium saying, "Please, sell the team." This was after the whole Chip Kelly debacle. He listened. He fired Chip Kelly. He hired Kyle Shanahan, who hired John Lynch, and he sit back and he STFU. Jed York, as a Niner fan of 30 plus years, I'm here to say, you can start back talking again. It's time to give Kyle Shanahan. Stop giving him 6-year extensions for being number 2 every damn year. Stop it. Nobody should get extensions for being number 2. I never got a raise on my job because I was the second best, whatever. You did a good job, Jarvis. You came in right behind such and such. I'm going to give you the reward anyway. No, they don't do that. They give it to whoever I was behind.
Anyway. So basically, you need him to stop being Jerry Jones and start being Jerry Jones.
Triple H thumbs up.
Not Jerry Jones. For now, yes. For right now, yes. That's what he was. Then he stopped for 7 years, and now it's time to get back to being Jerry Jones because nobody likes for you to just, we're going to be in the championship game every year. Who cares about being number 2? Let's get to who was the funny number? 0-2. The Baltimore Ravens. Enough about
I can't believe Saquon dropped that.
Enough about my hey, speaking of drops, before we talk about Terrence's 0-2 Ravens, did you know on the 16th day of September 2024 that Saquon Barkley had 16 drops since the start of 2021. It's the most by any running back. And that drop, number 16, was very costly. All right.
Wow.
I just had to just put one more shot in his face. Do one more shot. You ain't the only one with
Then he's standing here with a fucking Kobe earring on.
Spoiled his home.
You want Mama's mentality to catch the ball.
Terrence, all seriousness though, when we talked about Derrick Henry coming along in the backfield with Lamar Jackson, oh my God, we just thought, this is going to be nasty. Defensive is still going to do its thing, even though it's really not. It's inconsistent. Offensive line, we're just thinking they're just going to smash and bash and ground and pound, and it's not really looking like that either. Justin Tucker, you know what? He'll get us a win. Justin Tucker, that's what he does. He ain't really looking like the old Justin Tucker of day. Why are your Ravens 0-2? This could take a while. Then again, maybe it won't.
It's quick. It's quick. First of all, I want y'all to take a look around the league. Who's been the best running back in the league through the first two seasons?
Say it again.
Who's been the best running back in the league for the first two games of the season?
Oh, the first two
Josh
games?
Jacobs?
Who'd you say?
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
For the Chargers. J.K. Dobbins.
Interesting.
My point in saying that is Derrick Henry was not a necessity. They got him for a cheap casualty price, tail end of his prime. So they got him for cheap. He was not a necessity. He was a luxury. The necessity is at the receiver position. It always has been. It always will be until they truly address it. Now, I don't have the full stats in front of me, but I can give you roundabout numbers. I'm just going to read this out as best as I can remember with my photographic memory. I looked down the stat sheet and I saw about 97 yards or so for Flowers. I think Derrick Henry had like 87 yards and a touchdown. Lamar had his 45 yards rushing, which that's a walk in the park for Lamar. The only issue I would probably have with the offense, as far as production on yesterday, would have been the tight end position. Andrews or likely neither one of them had a good game. I'm saying that to say I think the offense, from a statistical standpoint, pretty much topped out yesterday. Now, this person could play better maybe here and there, but for the most part, if I look at their stat sheet at the end of a game, I'm pleased because that offense can't do much more than that. I think statistically they got the most out of the offense. That's a problem. I don't care how good your defense is. Listen, the 2000 Ravens is a good story. It's cool. It's hard. It's hard nosed. But this is not the league for hard nosed football anymore. You got to be able to put the ball in the end zone, not field goals. And Justin Tucker, as far as I'm concerned, can miss as many field goals as he wants to because we've depended on that man for too long. We get the ball to the 50, offense stalls out. Oh, we got Justin Tucker. He can make a 75-yard field goal. Hey, at some point, we need to get Justin Tucker some 30-yard field goals or just some extra points, some 33-yard extra points. How about that? The problem is, again, I look at the stat sheet. That's about the best that offense can do. There's no explosiveness. It is dink and dunk until we make it, or Lamar run, or we hand it off and hope for some miracle from Derrick Henry, which we're not going to get that miracle because nobody respects the receivers. That's it. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be Lamar or bust once again. That'll still get you to the playoffs. Might get you to the championship game, maybe, but you're not getting through Kansas City, and that's what they're aiming for.
Yep. I think you were pretty spot on, Terrence. I think the other side of it, from a complimentary football standpoint, the Raiders' offense just kind of wore on them, as the game wore on, and that's why in the fourth quarter they were able to get those 3 scoring drives. They didn't run the ball very well. Their leading rusher, Zamir White, he had 24 yards on the day. But Gardner Minshew, put the ball in there 38 times, threw for almost 300. Devontae Adams is still Devontae Adams, regardless of the talent that they are bereft of around him. 9 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown for him with Gardner Minshew as his quarterback. you know, and then other than that, the defense showed up for the Raiders. Again, the Ravens offense is still very predictable. Yo, what's up?
And I just want to say, there's two quarterbacks in the league the Ravens can't beat: Patrick Mahomes, Gardner Minshew. Can't beat him. He beat us last year with the Colts first game of the season. For some reason, they can't beat him. And I think he snuck a win in Jacksonville as well. Can't beat him.
But
for whatever reason.
What the hell is
yeah, man. And so, it, like I said, the predictability of the Ravens offense, combined with kind of the don't quit sort of attitude, I guess, that Antonio Pierce has really infused that Raiders team with, helped them get it done. The Ravens, kind of have to look at themselves in the mirror and kind of figure out what they're going to do next and what changes they can make to try to get this offense to have a little more, a little less predictability to it, a little more, a little more design, a little more deception, just something to keep defenses off balance. Because, okay, if Derrick Henry's dotting the I, he's going to hand it off. And then every so often they'll play action off of it. But, these receivers can't really beat anybody. So we can just we'll have guys run with them and put a little shell over the top and we'll be fine. They got to go to Dallas next week. A Dallas team that's always going to be looking to kind of bounce back after they got, manhandled yesterday. And this may be a chance for the Ravens to get on track, because the thing that Dallas doesn't do well, that the Ravens ideally should be able to do well, is run the ball. And so, like I said, the Dallas doesn't run it well. They don't stop the run well. That's what we saw a lot of from the Saints yesterday. And so maybe Baltimore can kind of piggyback off of that and be successful, but we'll see.
Well, I'll say one thing, Nick, your Eagles, Terrence, your Ravens, y'all got some tough games coming up, and it's ironic the Cowboys and Saints played on yesterday, and now the Cowboys will see Terrence's Ravens, and the Saints will see Nick's Eagles next. Can't wait to see what happens there. I mean, and my Niners, again, is not going to be an easy win, even though it's against a crippled Rams team, a handicapped Rams team that they're going to play this week. But after that, it could get rough. They better take advantage and win that one, because it could start getting kind of rough for the Niners in that schedule. I'm not looking at it right now, but I remember we got one win probably coming up next, and after that, who knows? Again, this could be the Niners 2020 season where everybody got injured and they just everything was that season was a total loss, and they definitely missed the postseason, winning 6 or 7 games that year. Or it could be 2021 where they just kind of, it's a rocky road, and then they kind of make a run toward the end, and then they found themselves in LA for the championship game where Jaquiski Tartt drops an interception that could have took them to the Super Bowl. He's not in the league either these days. Hadn't seen him play since that game. But anyway, the Ravens, what I see, Terrence, when I watch them, is just, damn, if this game is real, the Ravens don't look like they can block anymore, really, and they have an even harder time doing it when Derrick Henry's out there. It's like defenses back-to-back weeks have said, the hell with the pass. If it's going to be one, we'll take our chances getting burned. We pretty sure it's going to be inaccurate anyway. He's going to miss that throw. We're not worried about it. Go get 22. He's really he's really starting to look like a liability, though. This is the same. When I watch y'all, and I mean, this is a shot. I don't mean it to be as a shot, but you probably going to take it as one. I'm about to really hurt your feelings right here when I say this. When I watched the Baltimore Ravens these past 2 weeks, I think I'm still watching the Tennessee Titans last year in the past couple of years. It looks like Derrick Henry is still playing with the same damn team. And I think it's a liability of him. Everybody's stacking the box, stacking the deck. We're coming. The rush underneath, they're getting lowest leverage. The lowest man always wins. They're doing whatever they can. Like F the pass, we going for him when we see him in that backfield. And it's just the same 2 yards in a cloud of dust. I don't know what you're getting out of him being on that field. Unless
I don't think that's fair to Derrick Henry.
That's what we're seeing.
But I don't think that the reason I don't think that's fair to Derrick Henry is because the complementary football side of that, the reason that teams can do that is because the quarterback is not a threat throwing the ball, or there's no receivers to threaten you on the outside. And so therefore Derrick Henry is the obvious choice.
I said it looks like he's a liability. That's what I said. I didn't say he really was. What I'm saying is he should make better decisions on who he goes to sign with him. He was a free agent. He went to go sign with Baltimore. That's all I know. It ain't looking good unless the Gematria conspiracy theory is real. This could be a great story, and Terrence's story and his road to glory, Super Bowl 59 champions, that story could just be beginning. What if we look back at this 5 months from now and we say, damn, the Ravens started off 0-2, 0-3. Look at them now.
Right.
They have a chance to win the Super Bowl in New Orleans, just what they done it the last time. I'm not saying that their season isn't going to be bad, but do you really believe it? No, it just,
well, I mean,
does something dramatic.
Yeah. The reality is the season is young, and the division is still wide open because neither one of us has any faith in Pittsburgh. Cincinnati is not looking great, even though they probably should have won yesterday, but that's a different discussion. Kudos to Deshaun Watson for having a bounce back game. We've been kind of on him, so I want to make sure I give him some props.
Kind of.
Yeah. Hey, enough to win the game. We'll take that. So the season is still very young, and I am critical of the offense, but I'm nowhere near giving up on the team. I absolutely believe they're turning it around. They just have to figure some things out if they're going to keep playing this way. Because here's my thing, Jarvis. Now, you talk about John Harbaugh, and this is where I will throw my shoe at John Harbaugh like those guys did at George Bush overseas. If you had all offseason and you signed Derrick Henry and whatever else you did to shuffle things around, and you came into the season, after a whole offseason, you had the whole offseason, and this was the plan, like, bro, we gotta be a little more creative than that. So if this is the plan, then yeah, hey John, I'm throwing some blame at you too.
Yeah. I mean, look, Todd Monken is not looking any better than Greg Roman right now. So, I mean, like, what's the deal?
Well, this is why you don't hire college coordinators.
Yeah.
This is why you don't hire collegiate coordinators. Show me a good example. A college coach, cool. Jim Harbaugh, a whole there's a list of them. Collegiate coordinators, what good does that do? What they should have done, in my opinion, we can move on because the season is young and there's no need in beating them down right now. I know we want to talk about Bryce Young before we get out of here. In my opinion, and Nick, you can piggyback on this, they should have hired somebody under the Andy Reid coaching tree, in my opinion.
The Ravens should have?
They should have hired someone under the Andy Reid coaching tree for that offense, in my opinion. You look at what Mahomes is doing over there, and maybe there should have been old boy, what's his name? The one that ended up going to college. The one that everybody wanted to get hired. I forget his name. Bieniemy. Thank you. I'm sorry, y'all. It's late. Yeah, it's late. But they should have hired someone like that under their coaching tree to come in and help with that offense because they need some players that are designed to get people open. Those guys can't get open. You can't just say run a slant here and out there and expect guys to be open. It's not going to happen that way. And they don't have the personnel for that. But they do have some good, quick guys that are good if you can conceive plays for them to get open. They just don't have the guys that can just go get open on their own. So that's my take on it. That's what they should have done. Derrick Henry is a luxury. He's not a necessity. The necessity is at their receiver position. And until they address it, they're never going to take the next step.
Well, if they don't take that next step, John Harbaugh should finally be fired. But every time
he should just resign quick.
Every time it's about to happen, they win the Super Bowl or do something dramatic like over exceed, you know what I'm saying, their expectations. But anyway, enough. We had to talk about our teams, so nobody can say that we tried to downplay it or overlook it. We didn't bring it up. We talked about it. 45 minutes is gone. Only 3 teams. Talk about coordinators or OCs that John Harbaugh should have hired. He probably should have hired that guy named Clint Kubiak or whatever his name is out there in New Orleans, the new OC. That's my boy Gary Kubiak's son, who everybody knows when you think Kubiaks, you
Yep.
think Shanahan's. They go hand in hand. They came from the same tree. It started with Mike Shanahan, now Kyle Shanahan. I can remember when Kyle Shanahan was the OC in Houston for this man's dad, Gary Kubiak, calling plays for Matt Schaub, Andre Johnson, Arian Foster in the backfield. That was a cold offense that people forget about. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Kubiak is the reason why the Cowboys got stunned yesterday, because he runs the same offense that the Niners run, the same offense that the Rams run, the same offense that a lot of teams like the Packers and the Lions, and I could go on and on. A lot of teams run this where there's a lot of motion going on in the backfield, a lot of shifts and motions, a lot of different stuff going on, and they beat you on the edge just because you're either undersized or you just, it's too much physicality. The Cowboys got took to the woodshed. The Niners did too. I said that earlier. Only reason why you don't see it in the scoreboard is because Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the league. And I've been saying that for a couple years now. It ain't even close. He doesn't make a few of those plays, we get our asses blown out too. The Cowboys did get blown out, and he's got a lot to do with it. We finally got Nick to say, you know what? I'm off the Derek Carr train. As soon as
I said it.
As soon as he jumped off. So, Nick, we'll let you have it first. And tell your sis I said congratulations, because I know she enjoyed it.
Yes, she did.
Beating a lot of your family Cowboy members. What
and
happened?
we were in Grenada.
What the hell? Derek Carr, Kamara looked like it was 2016 again. What the hell did I just see in Dallas?
Yeah, what you saw was a team that can't stop the run. They can't. They are very thin in the middle of the field. And the Saints took advantage of that, made them come down, and then of course Derek Carr had a big play there early to Rashid Shaheed over the top, and they just came in and dominated the Cowboys. I mean, there was really no two ways about it. They ran the ball at their leisure, and then when they got tired of that, they'd run a little screen, a little double off to Kamara. He made plays behind that, and then once that defense came up, Derek Carr would eat them up behind that. They played a great game, had a good game plan coming in. Cowboys couldn't match them on offense because they don't have any weapons really outside of CeeDee Lamb at this point. They're for what we just saw from the Eagles in terms of with AJ Brown out, it's Devontae Smith and then kind of some guys as far as the receivers. Certainly that situation for the Cowboys. It's CeeDee Lamb and then kind of some guys. Jalen Tolbert, I think, had one big nice catch there early in the game. But other than that, the rest, Brandon Cooks and then those guys, and obviously the running back room is nothing to really get excited about. Rico Dowdle, I guess, is kind of the lead back in that room at this point, along with Ezekiel Elliott. And I believe they just signed Dalvin Cook, though I don't remember having seen him in a game as of yet, for the first 2 weeks. So I don't know what may be going on there. But, like I said, the Saints are another one of those teams, along with the others we mentioned, and the Cardinals, who we haven't mentioned, that in the NFC, just look, they might be better than we thought.
Yeah, I've been saying it.
Yeah, I think they are definitely better than what we thought. So far through 2 games, again, small sample size, but what we have seen in the first 2 games is that the Saints can beat you in multiple ways. Alvin Kamara is still very much Alvin Kamara. I would have preferred him over Derrick Henry just because of his explosiveness and his ability to beat you in so many different ways. And on top of that, they can beat you over the top.
Nah,
say it again, Jarvis.
I was just saying if you had Kamara, you wouldn't have to see 8 in the box either. Every time 22 is out there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, and they can beat you over the top. Now, I don't know what Dallas had going on. Again, small sample size. The first week of the league, first week of the season, they look like the team with the best run defense in the league. Second week of the season, they look like the team with the worst. They better figure out which one they are and at least try to get somewhere in between, or it'll be a long year. Because the Eagles and the 49ers and some of these teams that we think they're going to have to see later on down the road, we know they'll see the Eagles twice. But if they play the 49ers, they'll get run off the field.
We'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. But
if
bad game for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, bad game for the Cowboys. Good game for the Saints. The Saints have the Eagles coming up. Dude, that should be good. And then the Cowboys and the Ravens, that should be another good one. A desperate Baltimore Ravens team going into Dallas. Terrence, I'm surprised you're actually not going to be there for that game. That's one that you should have tried to make. I don't know.
I'm thinking about it. I might try to sneak a ticket in, Jarvis. I thought about it earlier. Things have been so chaotic with me. I haven't really had a chance to think about it. But I'm considering trying to figure out a way to get there.
Yeah.
To get in. Getting there is not a problem. Getting in might be an issue.
It would be a great place to win your first game of the season, though. It would. And the Cowboys would be responsible for the Cowboys losing 2 straight. Could they dare lose 3 straight again? I don't know.
I'll definitely be rooting for y'all this week, Terrence.
What you say, Nick? I missed that.
I'll tell Terrence I'll be rooting for him this week.
Okay. I just want to say this before we wrap this up. I told the guys already pre-production, but I got to say this on air, too, for people to know. The 49ers, the Cowboys, and the Eagles, for whatever reason, dating back to last season, it might have happened in 22. I didn't catch it, but I caught it last year. The Cowboys, Niners, and Eagles lost 3 straight games last year. All 3 teams. They just kind of seem to be moving together with what they do. And then this week, ironically, a new season, week 2 of this season, the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Eagles all lose on the same week. Isn't it ironic? Just saying. It's something going on with those 2. And here's the big shocker for you. Out of those 3 teams, Nick asked me earlier, what's the connection? I don't know what the connection is between the Eagles, the Niners, and the Cowboys. All I know is that, well, the past 2 Super Bowls, the Eagles and the Niners have already lost to the Chiefs. Does that mean the Cowboys is their turn? That's the only thing I can think of in that connection. Could we see the Cowboys and the Chiefs? Could we see the Cowboys and the Ravens? Either way it go, if they're following the same footsteps the Niners and Eagles have, this 3-team connection that they have going on here, it seems, the Cowboys are going to lose the Super Bowl just like we did, I believe. Guys, the Chiefs are undefeated still, 2-0. Let's be real. The Bengals outplayed them. The Bengals should have won. Not talking about the flag, that was DPI. No doubt about it, but the Bengals still outplayed the Chiefs. Yeah. The Chiefs, well, the Ravens kind of said here, we don't want to win last week. Same thing they did in the AFC Championship. The Chiefs could be 0-2. Patrick Mahomes didn't look that good yesterday, and they're still 2-0. Is it just me, or is that dangerous and scary as hell that the Chiefs still don't look good? They didn't look that damn good last year until it mattered the most. Guys, I've always said, why the hell are we watching football if the Chiefs are going to do what the Chiefs do? They're not even in their best form right now. Now, here's some news, though. Pacheco is out with a fractured fibula. I don't know how long he could be out, but that is, probably going to hurt. Then again, it's the Chiefs. It probably won't. Terrence is saying 6 weeks. You're the AFC guy. I'll let you just step in and tell me your thoughts real quick on the Bengals and Chiefs. And what do you see the Chiefs in the future now without their head running back?
It's just the opposite of how I felt about my Ravens. When I go up and down the stat sheet, I see this person is done what they're supposed to do, yada, yada, yada. You go up and down that stat sheet, and Travis Kelce had, I think, 1 target. There's a lot of space in there for the Chiefs to improve offensively. And I don't think that they have even scratched the surface of how good they can be. And that is very, very problematic. The Chiefs are still – people have to keep in mind, Patrick Mahomes has gotten paid, and they're still rebuilding pieces here and there as they go. They're rebuilding while they're winning championships. Like, who does that? So, this team is going to get better. People better get their wins in. Don't even worry about when you play them in the regular season. Just win the games you're supposed to win. You got to beat the Raiders and the teams you're supposed to beat, because when you play against them in the playoffs, if you make it that far, they'll be there. If you make it that far, man, you got to bring your A game, because they'll be ready. This is the time where they get ready. So you have to also do the same thing against those other teams, because you're not going to beat them when it counts if you're not ready.
Yeah, and then the even greater thing about the Chiefs, and I think that dropped over the weekend as well, is that they may not have Hollywood Brown at all this season. So you like to say the IR could maybe come back for the playoffs, but like he's going to be out for a good while. And even with that being, the case, you can't give me 5 teams you're more afraid of than them. Can't give me 3 probably. And like I said, with them starting out here in this game, started kind of slow, obviously. Losing Pacheco near the end of it is certainly not going to be helpful for them. But as we've seen, they'll rotate in some new pieces. They'll probably look to bring Jerick McKinnon back. I think I saw that they're bringing in Kareem Hunt, who's played some big minutes for them in the past. They'll keep trucking, man. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. As long as you got Patrick Mahomes on one side and Chris Jones on the other, and Andy Reid, on the sideline, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be in contention. And them finding a way to win a game like this is further evidence of that. Regardless of what you want to say about the pass interference, that definitely was a pass interference. People will get up in arms about that, but forget the play before, the hands to the face call that took back when they had gotten the first down anyways. So, you can try to point to the refs, you can point to whatever. At the end of the day, the Chiefs get it done. Patrick Mahomes is at this point not the greatest yet, but he is the best quarterback that I've ever seen. Andy Reid has certainly made his case as one of the arguably top 5 coaches maybe we've ever seen in football. And Chris Jones is certainly making the case for his gold jacket when his days are done. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, man.
Yeah. Need to see more.
And look, and part of that is
we saw Taylor Swift more than we saw Travis Kelce yesterday. So
yeah. As Terrence, and as you mentioned, we barely even called Travis Kelce's name yesterday, and they still found a way to get it done.
Seriously.
And about that penalty, Nick, part of that is success comes with real hatery. I'm not really hating on you Eagles. I'm just being funny. But the problem is the Chiefs are essentially as close to a dynasty as we're going to get. People are going to want to see you lose when you win that much. So they don't want those penalties to be called because they want to see you lose. But if it was their team, they would want it to be called.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's how it goes. That's how it works. But for some of the people that are saying things like the Chiefs shouldn't be this or they shouldn't be that, yeah, you're right. They shouldn't have won the past 2 Super Bowls. They shouldn't have won the one in 2019, but they won them. They got 3 Super Bowls. My whole thing is this. Jordan had like 6 game 6s in 6 different NBA finals. Neither one of those 6 games were blowouts. But he won all 6 of them bad boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all the fuck matters in the end. The Chiefs are winning these damn Super Bowls. Whether they should be or not, they always find a way to do it, or they always put it in the script for them to do it. Either way it goes, they win the Super Bowl, damn it, and that's all that matters. Bryce Young was benched. We found that out today. Also, that was some disappointing news to hear because that is Carolina saying, look, we think we are better than last year, and you're not really helping us or helping the fans see that. And we think that Andy Dalton, somebody who I didn't even know was still in the league, is going to be playing Sunday, whenever they play their next game for the Carolina Panthers. And if we see, some progression here, then that means the Panthers are better. And Terrence could very well be right if Andy Dalton can pull a Joe Flacco, I guess, is what he would be doing. He's not coming off the couch. He's just coming off the bench, but still, he's been on that bench for a mighty long time. I didn't know he was in the league. And what else? What else do we have? We talked about the Chiefs. We talked about our teams losing, the Cowboys losing. I think that's the most part. Justin Jefferson has an injury, even though he had a great game. We don't know how severe that injury is, if at all. The Rams, I picked them to win the West because I'm thinking my team is going to have a lot of drama, a lot of people out of shape, and, it's going to take a while before they can get into chemistry. I don't know if it's going to be the 2020 Niners or the 2021 Niners, but it's just crazy to just say we're going right back to the Super Bowl. Yep, just put it back and restart. I mean, just restart the game, and we're going to play the Chiefs again. Run it back. Yeah, well, there's a lot of teams in the NFC that says not so fast. You got to win these games. You can't just run through these teams. You have to win these games, and we'll see. But the Rams are really, really, really crippled right now with injuries. They don't look like they're going to win the West. They got the Niners coming up, and it could just get ugly. I want to say this before we leave. I got to say this because after the week we had in football these past 2 weeks, in the year in 2024, I'm reading this out because it's going to sound crazy saying it. In the year of 2024, Derek Carr is statistically the best passer in the league right now. Gardner Minshew has the highest completion percentage. The highest completion percentage. Gardner Minshew right now. The longest touchdown of the season is thrown by Sam freaking Darnold. And Baker Mayfield is undefeated and just barely behind Derek Carr. And Kyler Murray threw a perfect 158 pass rating game. Wow. All of those quarterbacks that I just mentioned, most people said they were busts. And the ones that weren't busts, their career is pretty busted up. They're done. It's a wrap. Listen to what I just said. Kyler Murray had one of the biggest games of his career. The best game of his career. And they almost beat Buffalo week 1. But did you see what they did to the Rams? I know that Ram team is crippled, as I just said, but damn, they made them look like it too. Marvin Harrison Jr., I be damn. Just as we expected.
He's pretty good.
Thought I was watching an old Indianapolis Colts game with his father.
He's a killer. He's a killer, just like his old man.
I got that, T. And you're not wrong either. I know about
Hope his old man don't watch this show.
I was just about to say that too. He'd be another killer. He'll be a second.
If he does, hey, pay attention. Terrence said that shit, not me.
I know I didn't say it. Oh no!
Hey, Nick, sign me up for some life insurance right quick.
Yeah, call me.
Right.
All right.
I was about to say, but I was just about to say what I just did too with Nick, but nah, that's all right. I don't need. Yeah, at the best team, but yeah, we didn't say that shit. But hey, I didn't hear no cap either, though. I didn't hear no cap. But yeah, the boy is playing good. He had a great game. I mean, he had some catches. I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's going to get overturned. And then the slow-mo, it was really a catch. It was really a touchdown. Damn. Great performance by him. Derek Carr has 8 go-ahead pass touchdowns since 2015. That's the most in the final minute of regulation. Kirk Cousins right behind him at 6. Brady at 5. Stafford with 5. Man, did I miss those 6 games? Kirk Cousins, did I miss those 8 games from Derek Carr? When did this stuff take place? Since 2015. That's what it is. Wow. And that was Cousins' first full season as a full-time starter. Eagles, what a Monday night game that was. Atlanta. Now they're starting to look like the Atlanta that we predicted to win. In case you forgot, you did pick the Falcons, not the Saints, to win the South. I think you put the Saints somewhere at 3. Or maybe even 4.
I put him at 3.
A few episodes ago, I said the Minnesota Vikings had and I really said it wrong, but you all got a big laugh out of it. It sounded like I did say they had a great bottom. I didn't mean to say they had a great bottom. I was trying to say they were a great bottom team in the division. They even look like a bottom team in the North right now. they don't. They beat my team. They don't look like the bottom right now.
It's ironic to say on the day that Diddy gets arrested. I say that.
Say it again.
It's ironic to say on the day that Diddy gets arrested.
That is correct. No Diddy.
I just leave that at that.
That is correct, though. Diddy, that is breaking news also that happened before we went on. We found out a little late that sometime today, on a Monday, September 16th, that Diddy was arrested. I was in a pool where we was betting money and gonna, what day he was gonna get arrested, and I had September 13th, and I was 3 days out. Of course, September 13th was the day that Pac allegedly passed away, and I don't really know. I have my theories on when he really passed, but I don't think it was September 13th, 96. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. He was arrested 3 days after that, so I missed the damn date. And anyway, if anybody from Bomb First over there is watching, listening or whatever, shout out, what up to Reggie and all those people who seem to predict everything right about what the feds are going to do. And he got it right again. The feds came knocking at this man door and they got him somewhere in Manhattan today. I hope it was fun for you, Diddy. I hope it was fun. Now you can say, take that, and do some 2 steps with R. Kelly right next to him. And it's going to be like everything that you've done in your life, and you lived an amazing life. I'm sure. I hope it was fun, bro. I hope it was fun. because from what I hear, they're gonna try to get him for everything that they possibly can, including Pac's murder.
If them niggas ever get out of jail, that collab gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
The all prison team can put on one heck of a show.
I'm trying to tell you, bro.
If Diddy produced an album, executive produced the album, whatever the hell Diddy's good at, because who knows really. If Diddy did some type of music collaboration with R. Kelly right now in jail, would it sell? Would the streams go through the roof? Like,
you're damn right it would.
I mean, they got ways. I mean, to make some production or some music. I'm sure it's R. Kelly. They'll find a way to get a studio set up in there. Man. Yeah. People will be the hell out of R. Kelly and Diddy, but when anybody do it in public,
yeah,
real.
R. Kelly they would. Diddy they might not.
That's a funny reel somebody will make. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody just sitting up there bumping, you know, when a woman's fed up. And then time everybody comes around and they see it, they turn it down like, and they play, I don't know, something else. Whoever's hot in R&B today, they turn that down. They don't want anybody to hear that they're playing R. Kelly. I think there will be a funny skit or something, a reel for somebody to do. But then as soon as they go back in the store, it's like running out of love. You just turn it right there. Because that's what people want to do. They really want to bump them, but they don't want people to know they bump. Like, seriously, y'all know it. Y'all know I'm not lying. Stop. Y'all be bumping R. Kelly. You just don't tell nobody you bumping. And
I do. I tell you.
I mean, man, he was telling us all along in the lyrics, I got to get out of here. But the next time you listen to R. Kelly, just think about what the hell he meant. He was telling us, why would he say my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yeah? Because he know that motherfucker was underage. He was telling us years and years ago. Nobody really, you know.
I mean,
yeah.
The man called himself the Pied Piper was enough.
That was enough too. Yeah. Got it again. Remember Dave Chappelle when he said R. Kelly confronted him in the mob when he was like, man, why are you making these videos about me peeing on girls? And Dave Chappelle said,
why you keep making videos about you pissing on people?
Why are you making videos pissing on people? I mean, if there's any way a comedian could come right back, only Dave Chappelle in a comedic way, man, comedic genius. Yeah, he was not. There was no. But anyway, guys, we ran out of time, ran past our time. We apologize. So much to cover from week. It was crazy. The Atlanta Falcons beat the Eagles. The Minnesota Vikings beat the 49ers. And the Raiders beat the Ravens. God, dog, what the hell happened this week? Man. It was all good just a week ago. You know who else is saying it was all good just a week ago? Diddy. Ain't good anymore.
No, it wasn't really good a week ago for him either. He just wasn't in prison. But it wasn't good.
But a week ago, he might have thought that he really still wasn't going to go because a lot of people were beginning to realize, hey, man, Diddy ain't going to be touched. It started to look that way for whatever reason. Yeah, it's happened. And somebody, I had a source that was saying it was going to happen September 20-something. It happened September 16th. How the hell do you know that? If you're not the figure, damn. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got. It's been a great show. Thank you guys. Week 3 of the NFL starts Thursday, where the Patriots and the Jets play. I'm sorry we didn't get to talk about how bad Will Levis looks for the Titans. We have to get back into that. Maybe I'll drop in the middle of the week and talk about what I saw their head coach saying to Will Levis. Everybody saw it. Everybody read the lips. He said, what the F are you doing? Like, he just likes to give games away. They had the Bears beat week 1. They had the Jets beat week 2. But yet still the Titans are 0-2. It's things like that why there's no need to watch. Titans seem like they're going to be the Titans. The Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. Champions. What are we doing here? We could be, I don't know, worshiping the good Lord on Sundays. We could be doing something, you know, like passing the plate, putting more money into the plate. We could be. I'm just talking about giving money away, but that's what we do on Sundays with the football stuff. Seriously. What's gonna happen next week? Some great stories this week, man. Oh man. I mean, this was the week of what the hell? And shout out to those quarterbacks. We'll see how long it'll last. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. Is anything a fluke with those guys, or is this going to continue to go on? Derek Carr, anybody calling fluke, or is this going to continue to happen?
The one I think
wouldn't go ahead, Nick.
Probably most return to earth would probably be Gardner Minshew and Kyler Murray.
Okay. Even
they will most return back to earth. The other guys I think may have some pretty good seasons.
Okay. Terrence, who was your picks?
I will say Sam Darnold. I have no faith in him. He's got the best. He's got the best of the receivers to throw to, of course, because he's got the best receiver to throw to. But I don't have a lot of faith in him.
Oh,
so I'm going to say Darnold.
One other guy that we haven't mentioned that's been one hell of a reclamation project and is involved in these first 2 weeks, Geno Smith.
I mean, Geno has been solidified in my opinion.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
I thought we already crossed that bridge with Geno. He's not, unless he's the system quarterback like Russell was. It's the same system. We'll find out. He wasn't good before he got there, so we'll see.
No, it's not the same system because Pete's gone.
All right.
It's not the same at all. Okay.
Well,
No, Pete Carroll's gone.
But he looked good
Yeah.
with Pete Carroll. He looks good without him. He looked good with him. I'm over that. I think Geno's all right. He's all right. But
I think Geno's good. I'll say this about QBs, and then I know we got to get out of here. You guys have to look the stats up to get the specific numbers, but the touchdown numbers through the first 2 weeks are down tremendously from what they were last year and the year before that. And the last 4 years, there's been a serious drought in the number of passing touchdowns for the first 2 weeks of the season. Last year, it was like 85 or so. This year is like 61, probably like 63 now, I think, since we had 2 or 3 tonight. The year before that, last year was 80-something. The year before that was like 101. So it's like a consistent drop of like 20-something odd touchdowns for the first 2 weeks of the season the past 3 years. It's crazy numbers, but I think that's also why we see a lot of these quarterbacks that are making resurgences because the bar is lower.
I think that is indicative of the shortening of the preseason and of training camp.
Yeah,
I think there's a direct correlation to that.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers should have played.
Good point.
Because he didn't look that good. The Jets shouldn't be happy not beating the Tennessee.
Because mark my words, we'll get to week 5, 6, and suddenly we'll start seeing offensive explosions. I mean, the Saints have come out on a heater already, of course. But we'll start seeing them left about week 4, 5, 6. And you start looking up and seeing multiple guys throwing for 300 and 350 and doing all of this. You go, oh, okay, that's where. But yeah, it took them a couple weeks.
That's usually how it goes. A lot of unders, first quarter of the season, and then from there. But Nick, how do you feel about that 7? And then we're out of here. But that Terrence was right about that 7. I told you about the 7. He saw it. I saw it too. I just wasn't going to mention it because it looked like you all were going to win, but you didn't. Terrence saw it on the screen. I saw it too. 7 straight wins for the Eagles in September. And
and Bijan Robinson wears number 7, and whatever else.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about that, Nick?
It is what it is, man. We lost. The Falcons are a good team. The gematria, superstitious side of it, and foul humbug. Whatever. Ball up top. We got another game next week.
It's always funny how it's whatever now, but you'll see something in the middle of the week. And this is what the public doesn't know. The audience doesn't know, but damn. Nick will hit me up with some of my theories in a minute when it's convenient for his ass. And it's like,
well, no, I do it to be facetious just in general. Like when they come up, I'm like, okay, so what you think? Should I bet on this one? And as soon as I actually bet on it just for fun. Okay. But I mean, there's been very little that I've seen that would sway me to believe that there was as much to it as you obviously believe.
Okay. I got you. The verdict is still out on Jalen Hurts as a pocket passer, as a franchise quarterback in his league. When he ain't running the ball, he still kind of looks average to me without his wide receiver, of course, nonetheless. But All right, Debo's gonna be out for a few weeks. That'll be Debo and no McCaffrey. Let's see how Brock Purdy does. I'm sure Nick will be waiting to see because that's his most overrated player in the league. I said it may be Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs, and boy, is Josh Allen smacking me in the mouth right now with a bunch of take this and take that. You know?
Yeah, watch how fast Brock Purdy starts to look like Kirk Cousins some years ago.
Hey, but look though, Nick, in all fairness though, you never got any pushback from me when you made this statement. You never got any pushback from me because I know what he looked like during that 3-game stretch without Debo, without Trent Williams. You never heard a thing from me. But now, like yesterday, I can't really say what he did wrong. I mean, I think it was just run the ball more, Kyle. And, you know, the defense is suspect, as I said. They're very and third down defense was bad, penalties and all those things. Numerous of reasons why they lost. But it still goes back to the head coach who's not getting that team prepared. Shanahan and John Harbaugh should both get fired on the same day. And me and Terrence can go celebrate and pop some bottles. Anyway, I'm done. We're out of here. Great show. Great week of week 2, I guess. Hope everybody had a little fun and a little luck on their parlays. If not, we'll try it again. Patriots and Jets Thursday. We'll be back Thursday night after the game, and we will preview the rest of week 3 in the NFL. There's going to be 2 Monday night games. Maybe we'll go live during one of those. I don't know why they keep doing this. Now they don't start the season with the doubleheaders. They'll hit you in the early part of it though. We got like Commanders and Bengals, and we also have I'm sorry, I can't think of the other 2, but there's 2 games on Monday night this week. But anyway, that's all we got. We'll be back. It's the Great Debate Show. Rate, review, follow. We're available wherever you get your podcasts. And if you pay your subscription bill, you'll hear us again. Peace.
Yo.